This is the second front. This is the second front of the second front. Since 2002, there was a serious interest in Georgia because it was the second most important front. It was a serious threat to the Russian positions because the second front was very important to the Russian people. All of this reflected on our country. It was a serious threat to Russian positions.
Well, for more on this story, let's cross live to the first Greek ambassador to Armenia, Leonidas Χρυσανθόπουλος. Many thanks for joining us on the programme. First of all, I'd like to ask, what do you make of the lack of Western reaction to the Armenian protests so far, especially considering the heightened interest in the protests in Georgia? I mean, should we expect a reaction in the coming days?
Well, let's deal first with Armenia. I think that the reaction of the Armenian people is very logical. They waged a war against Azerbaijan in 1993 and 1994, the time that I was there, and they were able to occupy most of Artsakh or Nagorno-Karabakh at the time. During the war now in 2022 and the latest war that drove them out, drove the Armenian population outside of Artsakh, Armenia was all alone. It neither had the support of Moscow, which it should have. Moscow, of course, was saying that Nagorno-Karabakh, according to the international treaties, belongs to Azerbaijan. Yes, that is true. But they could have played a decisive role in preventing the ethnic cleansing, basically, that took place in Nagorno-Karabakh by Azerbaijan. Moscow did not do anything there, and I have to say it very, very clearly. The West did nothing also. So it was a moment when Armenia was left totally alone. And the Armenians know their history very well, and they know that Turkey and Azerbaijan, because the Armenians call the Azerbaijanis Turks, which they are, because the Azerbaijan speaks the same language with Turkey. They are of the same ethnic origin, and they know very, very well that the aim of the Turks is to eliminate Armenia, and in order to finalize the genocide that it started in 1915.
Okay, so what we're seeing right now, sorry to interrupt, is we have the Armenian public demanding for the Prime Minister Pashayan to quit, with the nation unlikely to support him further after ceding this land to Azerbaijan. However, Armenia's leading opposition figure holds a second citizenship in Canada. How could this fact affect his election chances, do you think?
Well, I think that it could affect. I mean, I see Pashayan resigning because I don't think that he will be able to cover to face the pressure that he's facing from the population. And of course, this is where I think that some kind of assistance should be given to Armenia by Moscow, essentially. And otherwise, I see a war breaking out between Armenia proper and Azerbaijan.
If we compare the footage that we've seen from the protests in Armenia and in Georgia, we see a large amount of placards in English in Tbilisi, something that we're not seeing at all in Yerevan. How can this be explained, do you think?
No, the demonstrations of Yerevan is totally different from the demonstrations in Georgia. In Yerevan, it's a national issue. It's a question of the existence of Armenia. In Georgia, it is not like that. There we have the intervention of the West according to the Western policy. So it's two different things, what's happening in Armenia and what is happening in Georgia.
Many thanks for speaking to us today. It's great to get your take on the situation. We've been talking to the first Greek ambassador to Armenia in 1993, Leonidas Χρυσανθόπουλος. Thank you.
Thank you very much.